Have you ever wondered how Spain, a country so rich in culture and history, came to be what it is today? Let's pull back the curtain of time to the late 15th century, a pivotal era in Spain's history marked by the reign of the Catholic kings. In the year 1479, the crowns of the kingdoms of Castile and Aragon were united under Isabella and Ferdinand, the Catholic kings. This union wasn't just a marital alliance, it was a strategic pact that would change the course of history. Their reign marked the dawn of a unified Spain, a nation no longer fragmented by regional kingdoms, but brought together under a common banner. But the Catholic kings did more than just unify the kingdom. They propelled Spain onto the global stage. It was under their auspices that Christopher Columbus set sail on a voyage that would result in the discovery of the New World. This was the beginning of Spain's global exploration and colonization, marking the start of an era where Spain's influence would stretch far beyond its own borders. Their reign was not without controversy. They were zealous in their faith and their desire to spread Catholicism. They established the Spanish Inquisition, a notorious institution known for its harsh methods in preserving the Catholic faith. Their expulsion of Jews and Muslims from Spain is remembered as a dark chapter in the nation's history. Yet these actions played a significant role in shaping Spain's national identity, one deeply intertwined with Catholicism. The Catholic king's rule was a turning point. It set the stage for Spain's evolution from a collection of disparate kingdoms to a unified nation, from a regional power to a global empire. Their reign, marked by exploration, religious fervor, and unification, laid the groundwork for the Spain we know today. And so, as the sun set on their reign, a new nation stood ready to make its mark on the world stage. The reign of the Catholic kings laid the foundation for a nation that was soon to make its mark on the world stage. But as the saying goes, every rose has its thorn. Spain too had its share of internal strife. The Spanish Civil War, a bitter conflict that raged from 1936 to 1939, was a testament to this strife. It was a war steeped in ideological divides, a clash between the Republicans, who sought a democratically governed Spain, and the Nationalists, a coalition of conservative forces led by General Francisco Franco. The causes of the war were as complex as they were deep-rooted. Tensions simmered beneath the surface of Spanish society, fueled by political instability, economic hardship, and social unrest. The ignition, however, was a military coup launched by nationalist forces against the Republican government in July 1936. The war that ensued was brutal and unforgiving, leaving an estimated 500,000 people dead and the nation scarred by division. It was a war of brother against brother, neighbor against neighbor, a war where the lines between right and wrong became blurred in the fog of battle. The end of the war saw the rise of Franco and his dictatorship. For nearly 4 decades, Spain was held in the iron grip of Franco's regime. Under his rule, Spain was isolated from the global stage, civil liberties were curtailed, and dissent was brutally suppressed. Yet in spite of the oppression, the spirit of the Spanish people remained unbroken. Franco's dictatorship left a profound and lasting impact on the nation's political landscape. It was a period of history that would shape and define Spain for generations to come. The echoes of this era, the wounds of division, and the memories of struggle are still felt in Spain today. The Civil War and Franco's rule marked a dark period in Spain's history, one that still resonates today. Even as Spain moved forward, the shadows of its past lingered. In the heart of the Basque country, a new storm was brewing. The Euskadi Ta Askatasuna, or ETA, a Basque separatist group, emerged as a significant force in the late 20th century. Born from the desire for Basque autonomy, ETA's campaign of violence would come to shape Spain's political and social landscape for decades to come. The echoes of conflict were loud and clear, with ETA's activities creating a climate of fear and uncertainty. Bombings, assassinations, and kidnappings became frequent news, as the group targeted politicians, military personnel, and civilians alike in their quest for an independent Basque state. The group's actions led to a hardening of attitudes, and the tension between regional identities and national unity was palpable. Yet it wasn't just about the Basque country. Other regions, like Catalonia, also harbored desires for greater autonomy. These regional identities, each with their unique cultures, languages, and histories, clashed with the idea of a unified Spain. The tension between these two concepts was like a fault line running through the heart of the nation. The Spanish government's response was firm. They clamped down hard on ETA, with arrest and imprisonment of its members. The group was outlawed, and its activities were condemned internationally. Yet the desire for regional autonomy did not disappear, and the struggle between unity and fragmentation continued. And so Spain found itself in a delicate balancing act. On one hand, the need for national unity was paramount, particularly in a world that was becoming increasingly interconnected. On the other hand, the desire to respect and recognize the unique identities of its various regions remained strong. The echoes of Spain's past continued to reverberate, shaping its present and undoubtedly influencing its future. The story of Spain is not just a tale of kings and queens, of wars and conquests. It is also a story of different identities, of unity and fragmentation, of the constant struggle to find a balance between the two. The clash between unity and regional identity continued to be a defining aspect of Spain's narrative. Yet, amidst this turmoil, Spain found stability in an unlikely place. As the dust of conflict began to settle, a figure emerged from the shadows, King Juan Carlos I. Ascending to the throne in 1975, following the death of General Francisco Franco, Juan Carlos was expected to continue in the footsteps of the dictatorship. But destiny, it seemed, had other plans. Instead of perpetuating Franco's regime, Juan Carlos took a daring step. He initiated Spain's transition to democracy, a move that was as unexpected as it was momentous. The king, who had been prepared for his role by the dictator himself, began to dismantle the very system that had put him in power. The king's political maneuvering was subtle, yet effective. He appointed Adolfo Suárez, a reformist, as prime minister, a move that signaled his intent to steer Spain towards a democratic path. Together, they began the task of transforming Spain from a dictatorship to a constitutional monarchy. They faced considerable challenges in their quest. From hardline Francois, resistant to change, to separatist movements seeking autonomy, the road to democracy was fraught with obstacles. Yet Juan Carlos, with his diplomatic finesse and unwavering commitment, navigated through these challenges, guiding Spain towards its democratic destiny. In 1978, 3 years after Juan Carlos's ascension, Spain's new constitution was approved by a landslide in a national referendum. It was a testament to the king's leadership that the Spanish people, who had lived under dictatorship for nearly 4 decades, embraced democracy with such enthusiasm. The king's role in this transition was pivotal. His commitment to democratic principles, his ability to build consensus, and his courage in taking the path less traveled all contributed to Spain's successful transition. Juan Carlos I, the king who was expected to be a dictator, instead became the architect of Spanish democracy. King Juan Carlos III steered Spain into a new era, one marked by democratic values and national unity. His reign marked a significant chapter in Spain's history, a chapter that transformed the nation and set it on a path of stability and progress. And in 2010, Spain found a symbol of unity that transcended politics: football. The year was 2010, a year that would etch itself in the annals of Spanish history not for a political shift or royal succession, but for a moment of unity experienced through the universal language of sport. The FIFA World Cup, the most prestigious football tournament in the world, was the stage, and Spain was the star. The Spanish national team, La Roja, had always been adorned with incredible talent, but this was the year they would finally realize their full potential. The team, a melting pot of players from different regions, symbolized a diverse and united Spain. They played with a shared purpose, a common goal: to bring glory to their nation. As they progressed through the tournament, they did more than just win games. They sparked a renewed sense of national pride and unity that transcended the geographic and political divides that had once marked the nation. The streets of Spain, from the bustling avenues of Madrid to the charming lanes of Barcelona, were awash with a sea of red and yellow, the colors of the Spanish flag. The final match against the Netherlands was a nail-biter. It was a battle of wills, a test of fortitude. And when Andrés Iniesta scored the winning goal in the dying minutes of the game, the entire nation erupted in a jubilant celebration. It was a moment of collective triumph, a testament to the strength of unity. Spain's victory in the 2010 FIFA World Cup was more than just a sporting achievement. It was an emblem of national unity, a symbol of shared pride. It showed that despite their past struggles and differences, the people of Spain could come together, stand united, and achieve greatness. In their triumphant World Cup win, Spain found a unifying force that brought the nation together, reminding them of their shared history and common future.